Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. Celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Plan for a vacation day. We don't take vacations. We're on radio. We've got a radio show to do. So we're here for you. Well, maybe we do take vacations sometimes. Not enough. I guess that's the whole thing. We need more Don't we need more vacations, Josh? Yeah, okay. Data Privacy Day. We know we don't have that. Our phones are always listening. And having beaten anorexia, Blueberry Pancake Day. I like blueberry pancakes. I like any kind of pancakes. They got to have the real Canadian maple syrup to go on top of them. And lots of butter. Can you do that with a side of bacon? Everything's better with bacon. Always better with bacon. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, that one is up 99 points. The S&P 500 is up 38. The NASDAQ is up 288. Oil down another 15 cents a barrel. And as I shared with you yesterday when we were looking at the markets, I told you then, it is still true today. The markets always overreact. So when we saw the NASDAQ down hundreds of points yesterday, I forgot what it was down, but it was a big, big drop yesterday. I told you it would overreact. And it is. Today it's back up 290 as we speak. So always count on the markets overreacting. They do it every single time. It's just the way it works. And it was all yesterday about this DeepSeek and talking about, well, we were able to do this for $5 million and the U.S. is doing it for hundreds of billions of dollars. I was from China. Does anybody believe anything that comes out of China? I mean, it's just, you can't believe them. And those that do, well, they're destined for, I don't know. I got a bridge to sell you. Maybe Josh will sell some beachfront property in Nevada, right? Because that's about as accurate as it is having anything coming out economically or cost-wise or almost any other thing out of China. It's just, it is what it is, and it's never accurate. So don't go counting on stuff that's coming out of China because it's not correct.
It is what it is.
Okay, let's move right along. Hey, you know what else it is today? It is National School Choice Day, or National School Choice Week, second day of school choice. And I am a big, big proponent of school choice. I know we'll never have school choice in California because the unions are it's incestuous. It's a big circle. So the unions force the teachers to pay them money. The unions then give money to the politicians. The politicians then put in place laws and regulations to benefit the unions, and it keeps going in circles. And the money doesn't ever get to the teachers. That's the problem with it. Now, if you have school choice or vouchers, no, is it vouchers, Josh? Do you have vouchers in Nevada? In California, there's not much in the way of vouchers. I know that in the first Trump administration, they wanted a voucher system so that the parents could take the money that comes from the federal government and spend it where it was best for their kids. What does that do? It creates competition. Competition means better education. Now, the U.S. has been going backwards in our education system, just the way it is. It's been going backwards for a long, long time when you look at how much we spend versus where our kids are. Even 45 years ago, dear friend of mine in college, he used to laugh. He was from Bolivia. In Bolivia, they go to school at 7:30 or 8 in the morning, and they get done at 5 or 6 in the afternoon, except on Saturdays, they only go half day. He used to say, we're used to doing all this stuff. So studying, homework, it's all part of the process. So he'd say, when we wondered why he was always getting straight A's and everything in college, it was simple. It was because it was easy for him. You look at a college day and you're going 4 hours a day or something, and you've got some homework. That was like vacation time, right? Because the kids study. Why is it that the wealthy kids of wealthy families do better than the rest of us? Well, their parents have the means to keep them in school longer each day and more days each year. Wow, isn't that a surprise? If they're in school, they do better. If they get educated, they get better. In the summer, they don't regress because they're studying all year round. Now, if we didn't have some of the union things, well, our kids might be able to do some of these things as well. Again, it's not the teachers, it's the union. The unions are on a completely different mission than what the teachers are. So we've got National School Choice Week, and hopefully for the sake of our kids and our grandkids, for me this time, it'll do better. I think I've shared with my kids Khan Academy, and there may be something better because I'm old and I don't know all these things. Josh was just telling me some stuff before we went on air about it that I'm going to look into to have available at our house for our grandkids because it's good for them. Instead of watching some of these dumb shows over and over and over again, what is it? STEM shows. I like that idea. What is it? Science and English and mathematics, and I don't know what the T is. But it's all good for the kids. It's probably technology if I was guessing. But the bottom line is teach the kids. They are our future. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, how home equity can help fuel your retirement. Sounds like a Home Select subject. Mortgage Rates 101, Part 3, what is an APR? Part 4, how are they determined? How are mortgage rates determined? And the estate strategy everyone needs. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com, NMLS 217, 037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be every month. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. That's our mortgage calculator that we give you for free. And it has all kinds of other data on there. What did rates do yesterday? It was a good day. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.881. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.907. That was down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.495. That was down. VA 30-year fix, 6.393. That was down. And the USDA loan, that is for the rural areas, generally no down payment. The only one of the bunch that was up yesterday, 6.549. That was up. If you want our market thoughts, each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The S&P 500 is now up 44.37. The 10-year Treasury is up 4 basis points. The bond is down 3 basis points. The mortgage bond is down 3 basis points, which means rates are up just a little bit. Now, that is good news. Why? Because they're up just a little bit. Yesterday, that bond was really, really strong, and it gained a lot, which meant rates went down a lot. So that tells us when the bond goes down like that, we're in good shape. Let's see what's driving this today. Bonds, again, a little worse in the early going, but a weaker than expected consumer confidence survey from the Conference Board helped bonds to recoup some of those losses. Consumers are clearly feeling less confident in January compared to December, which coincides with the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey that was also a miss. FHA reported on delinquencies. Their latest report showed that 30-day mortgage delinquencies rose to 6% in November. Wow, 6% in November. That is a big, big jump. Ow! Serious delinquencies, or those 90-plus days delinquent, have also begun to rise. Within the report, consumers shared the reason for not being able to make mortgage payments. Consumers saying that they cannot make a payment due to being unemployed has risen significantly. What? Unemployment rate went down last month. We've been telling you that you know better than that. It's not the truth. The numbers are not coming in accurately.
You know better than that.
So what are we looking at here? Consumers saying that they cannot make a more payment due to being unemployment has risen significantly. The share reporting this back in quarter 4 of 2024 was 1.8%, which then rose to 7.7% in the fourth quarter of 2023, and more recently rose to 12.1% in the fourth quarter of 2024. That is a huge increase, potentially showing that the labor market may not be as strong as the published figures are showing. Additionally, those not able to pay because of excessive obligations or too much debt has risen from 2.71% in the fourth quarter of 2020 to 20.1% in the fourth quarter of 2024, Another sign that consumers are stretched and overloaded with debt. Case-Shiller and FHFA appreciation reports for November, the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which is the gold standard for appreciation, showed that home prices rose 0.4% in November on a seasonally adjusted basis. The raw figure was negative 0.1%, but because this is a weaker time of year for housing, it is always seasonally adjusted higher. This was stronger than market estimates. Year over year, home prices rose 3.8%, which is an increase from 3.6% in the October report. This was the first year over year increase we have seen in quite some time. Make sure that you're understanding this when you're making that decision whether you should buy or not. If we were to see 4% appreciation over the next 12 months and you buy a $600,000 home, that's $24,000 in appreciation alone. Now think about that. If you put 3% down, which there are loans for 3% down, that's $18,000 down, and your appreciation is $24,000 in the first year. The 10 and 20 steady indices were higher than the nationwide figures, showing that the big cities are outperforming the rest of the nation. FHFA released their house price index. This measures home price appreciation on single-family homes with conforming loan amounts. Different than Case-Shiller, it does not include cash buyers or jumbo loans. The FHFA reported that home prices rose 0.3% in November after seasonal adjustments. Before seasonal adjustments, home prices fell 0.4%. But again, we typically see this during this time of year, which is why they adjusted higher. Year over year prices are up 4.2%, which is slightly lower than the 4.5% in the previous report. Bottom line, home prices are continuing to move higher and are rising around 4% year over year, which is solid home appreciation. Rental reports. The BLS released their quarterly new tenant rental index, which shows how much new rents are rising or falling. In the fourth quarter of 2024, new rents fell 2.4% year over year, which is a big change from plus 1.6% in the third quarter of 2024. This is the first negative reading in 15 years and is a very good sign for inflation. The single largest component in the CPI and PCE inflation report is shelter, which is comprised primarily of rent and owner's equivalent rent. As I've talked about in the past, the shelter figures are lagging behind and are much higher than real-time data, keeping inflation more elevated than it should be. Of course, this has an impact on rates and the Fed's rate cut decisions. The new tenant rental index is showing signs that the BLS figures are starting to catch up and should help overall inflation to decelerate. Apartment List released their new rent index this morning, showing that new rents fell 0.2% in January and are down 0.5% year over year. The year over year figure moves slightly higher from negative 0.6%, but this has been negative since mid-2023, another sign that rents should begin to fall within the inflation readings we get. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by RSR Money, by our friends at Geneva Financial. Visit holy cow, I guess I better start that part of it again, right? That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that new home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's do a mortgage 101. Mortgage 101 brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com. Mortgage 101 brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com. What is APR? That's our subject today. I like this one. What is APR? Okay, let's see if I can get this. So APR attempts to factor in upfront cost to deliver a true cost of financing, which is typically higher than the interest rate on your mortgage. APR relies on human input, and variables can be manipulated to a certain extent by anybody that knows how to manipulate them. It's not very hard to do. Thus, it's an imperfect measurement. A slightly lower APR from one lender may not necessarily be a better deal. So let's make sure that you know about upfront costs. And we talked about that in our prior segment. Some upfront costs associated with mortgage are considered prepaid finance charges, in that they're only paid in order to obtain the mortgage and are not tied to a tangible service. Example, homeowners insurance is a tangible product that could and should be paid for regardless of the presence of a mortgage. Therefore, it's not a prepaid finance charge. A loan processing fee, on the other hand, is only something you'll pay for if getting a loan, and therefore is a prepaid finance charge. Prepaid finance charges, or PFCs, are neither good nor bad. Whoops, I just lost my report here. They're not scandalous or uncommon. A loan without them isn't necessarily a better deal than a loan with lots of them. And even if you're told you're not paying PFCs, most of them will still need to be paid by someone. Typically, this involves the lender offering a higher interest rate and then paying the PFCs for you. In that example, you've simply financed the PFCs by paying higher interest over time. Again, that's neither good nor bad, just a choice between paying more upfront or more over time. PFCs are most notably because they determine annual percentage rate of a loan, the APR. Lenders are required to disclose APR. This is a good idea in concept, but not so simple in practice. Regulators figure the requirement field by forcing lenders to give consumers an idea of what a true cost of financing will be. Indeed, the notion of quoting mortgage rates in terms of a note rate, again, we talked about that in a prior Mortgage 101 session, note rates and upfront lender-related costs is fantastic and ideal. Unfortunately, regulators leave it up to lenders to do their own APR calculations. While most lenders do things the same way, others do things differently in order to quote a lower APR than their competitors. Some lenders are simply more conservative in what they define as a PFC because they want to avoid regulatory scrutiny. Those lenders may have higher APR quotes than others, even if every single upfront cost is exactly the same. Bottom line, APR is not necessarily applies to apples. You shouldn't blindly trust one lender's APR over another. As tedious as it may be, the best way to compare quotes is to see what the upfront cost assumptions are line by line. Take a look at what your payment is every month. Then take a look at what your principal balance is going to be 12 months, 24 months, 60 months out. This gives you an idea of what's coming out of your pocket, what your expenses are, what your cost to close is. Because here's the biggie. So prepaid interest is one of the numbers. So if one lender quotes based on closing your loan at the end of the month and another lender quotes based on closing in the middle of the month, that's going to give a varied reading just because they're both accurate, they're both legal, they're just not quoting apples and apples. So make sure you're doing a little more due diligence and just looking at the reports. And does it surprise anybody that sometimes with all good intentions, the application from the government may not be exactly your best interest? That is Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how home equity can help fuel your retirement. Part 4 of Mortgage Rates 101. How are they determined? And the estate strategy everyone needs. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/ Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. How home equity can help fuel your retirement. If retirement is on the horizon, now's the time to start thinking about your next chapter. And you probably want to make sure you're set up to feel comfortable financially to live the life you want in retirement. What you may not realize is you likely have a hidden gold mine of cash you're not thinking about, and that's your home. That's your home. Data from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, shows that home values have gone up nearly 60% over the last 5 years alone. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, the ABC, News and Talk, AM 1490, or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart, and that chart actually shows you the percentage change in home prices. And you can actually see that it's 57.4% over 5 years with the quarter ending in 2024. And I can't see the number for California, but it's on the chart. Every state is on the chart. That appreciation gave your net worth a big boost. According to Freddie Mac, over the same 5-year period, quote, boomer overall wealth increased by $19 trillion or $486,000 per household, half of which is due to the house price appreciation, unquote. Remember, this is from Freddie Mac, so it's a national number. California, the numbers are going to be much, much higher. So if you've been in your house even longer than that, chances are you have even more equity in your home. If you want to have access to more of the wealth you've built up throughout the years, it's worth thinking about selling your house to downsize or right size. Why downsizing might be the right move. Selling now so you can downsize into a smaller home, or maybe one more affordable in a more affordable area, could free up home equity so you can use a portion of it to help you feel confident retiring. Whether you want to travel, spend more time with family, or just feel financially secure, accessing the equity in your home can make a huge difference. As Chase says, quote, retirement is an exciting time. Selling your home to take advantage of the equity or to right size to a more affordable home can open up additional options for your future, unquote. Here are just a few of the ways a smaller home can fuel your retirement. Number one, cut cost of living. Data from AARP shows the number one reason adults 50 and older move is to reduce their cost of living. Downsizing to a smaller house or relocating to a more affordable area can help you lower your monthly expenses like utilities, property taxes, and maintenance costs. Number two, simplify your life. A smaller home often means less upkeep and fewer responsibilities. That can free up your time and energy to focus on the things that matter most in your retirement. Number three, boost your financial flexibility. Selling your current house gives you the access to your equity, turning it into cash you can use however you like, whether it's investing, paying off debt, or creating a financial cushion. It can open up new opportunities. Number four, hey, do this before you retire. I would say about a year before you're ready to retire, start looking into these things. If downsizing or right sizing is right for you, that is great. Now, if it's not, how about taking a look at your financial structure? That might be even better for you. The financial structure that you look at is a big, big issue. And what do I mean by that? Well, you might want to be looking at a reverse mortgage. That might be one issue that's in your best interest. The other item that you may want to look at is our favorite loan, the Home Select loan, rsrhomeselect.com, because that gives you access to the equity in your property. And potentially, you can decide in retirement, I want to make a payment or I don't want to make a payment. Or I want to put more money into the property or less money into the property. Or I need to take and use some of the tax benefits. All of this is available through the Home Select product. First step toward your next chapter, if you think you may be interested in downsizing or right sizing, working with a real estate agent is your next step. Your agent will help you understand how much equity to have and how you can use it. But they'll do more than that. They'll also help you navigate the entire process of selling your current home and finding a new one so you can transition smoothly into a new home and a new phase of life. And working with a Certified Liability Advisor, CLA, we help you build wealth through strategic debt management. Bottom line, if you're planning to retire in 2025 or soon, now may be the perfect time to downsize and unlock the equity you've built up in your home. Let's start planning your move now so you're set up to make every day feel like Saturday. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And again, I share with you, you got to take a look at the Home Select product. Whether it's right for you or not, I don't know. Whether you qualify for it or not, I don't know. But what I do know is if you don't understand an offset loan with a sweep account, you're missing out. Because, again, it's the best loan on the market if you want to pay less interest expense. Interest expense. Just throw that out there for you. Mortgage 101, mortgage rates, part 4. How are mortgage rates determined? That is our subject today, and we want to get into that one right now. How are the mortgage rates are driven by investor demand? The mortgage-backed security that we talk about every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Investors view mortgages as similar to bonds, lower risk, more stable return. Unpredictable consumer behavior makes mortgages more risky than guaranteed bonds like U.S. Treasuries. Investors expect higher rates of return for riskier scenario, i.e. lower credit scores or higher mortgage equals a higher mortgage rate. When you've covered the building blocks that we've talked about so far in this Mortgage Rate 101 series, let's discuss where mortgage rates come from, how they're decided, why can they change, and why can they be so different from person to person. Simple version, at their most basic level, mortgages are like bonds, fixed income investments, where an investor fronts a lump sum and is paid back over time with interest. There are many types of bonds in the bond market, and those that are similar to each other tend to move in the same direction based on investor demand. Movement in the bond market generally translates to movement in mortgage rates. From there, lenders make additional adjustments to rates based on things like credit scores, down payment amounts, and other risk factors. Those are called loan level price adjustments. Those adjustments rarely change, so day-to-day movement in an individual rate quote is almost always determined solely by bond market movement, unless your credit score rapidly changes or you decide to put a different amount of money down. So if you want more details about, look at what is a mortgage. We already talked about that. The existence of mortgage rates depends on investor demand. At the simplest level, someone with money has to be interested in giving it to you so you can buy or refi a home and pay them back with interest over time. Given that investor could buy other investments, stocks, bonds, or currencies, something about your mortgage has to get their attention. There are several pros and cons of investing in mortgages, but the most important factor is that the mortgages offer a competitive rate of return without much more risk compared to similar investments. When we talk about similar investments, a mortgage would be most similar to a bond. A bond is considered a fixed in scheduled payments over time. Payments could occur monthly, semi-annually, or other ways. Unlike most fixed income investments, the borrower, in the case of mortgages, is a consumer. Contrast this to the biggest category of fixed income borrower. Entire countries. For example, while the U.S. and other major borrowers make debt payments for a guaranteed amount of time, consumers have choices when it comes to their mortgage. Consumers can choose to refinance or sell. That means the investment is retired. The investor gets their initial principal back and perhaps some of the interest they're entitled to for the current month, but no further monthly payments. This could happen weeks, months, or years into a mortgage. Other situations like foreclosure or short sale also prematurely end a mortgage. In some cases, the investor could lose some of their initial principal, but due to the structure of the mortgage market, that is a rare occurrence these days. The unpredictable nature of consumers selling or refinancing is a much bigger issue. Why would an investor care about getting their principal back early? Simply put, the investor is counting on making their money by collecting interest over time. In fact, investors often pay a premium for the right to collect monthly payments on a mortgage. If something cuts those payments short, the investor could lose money. Let's look at an example why an investor wouldn't want to be paid back early. $100,000 equals mortgage loan adjustment. That's the principal. $104,000 what an investor might pay a mortgage company to get that loan. In this example, the principal balance is $100,000. The investor paid a premium to $100,000 or principal because the interest rate was attractive relative to other investment opportunities. The investor could have paid nothing for a loan with a substantially lower rate, but this rarely happens in the modern mortgage lending environment. Naturally, any time before the total amount of interest in the above example reaches $4,000, the lender would like the borrower to continue making payments. It's worth noting that most mortgage transactions don't simply involve one investor buying one mortgage. Investors will either buy lots of mortgages, so they are more likely to have plenty of mortgages remaining, even if a few of them are paid back early, or they simply buy a chunk of some sort of portfolio. When multiple similar mortgages are grouped together and sold off in chunks, it's a process known as securitization. That's Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the real estate strategy everyone needs. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. What are we doing? The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Simply the best loan on the market, best mortgage on the market. The estate strategy everyone needs, protecting your legacy and building wealth. Today on Ron Siegel Radio, we're all about empowering homeowners and first-time buyers to secure their financial future. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial for everyone: an estate strategy. You might think estate planning is just for the wealthy, but here's the truth. It's for anyone who wants to protect their family, their assets, and their legacy. Let's unpack why having an estate strategy isn't just a good idea, it is essential. Why do you need an estate strategy? An estate strategy is like a roadmap for your needs and your wishes. Without one, your family could face unnecessary stress, legal battles, and financial hardship. Here's why it's vital. Number one, control and clarity. Why would you rather have a court decide what happens to your assets or ensure your loved ones follow your specific wishes? An estate strategy guarantees clarity, giving you control even when you're not there to guide the process. Number two, minimizing family conflict. The loss of a loved one is hard enough without adding financial disputes to the mix. With a clear plan in place, you can reduce the chances of misunderstandings and disagreements among your family members. Number three, tax efficiency. Did you know that without proper planning, a significant portion of your estate could go to taxes instead of your loved ones? A solid estate strategy helps you minimize tax liabilities, preserving more of your hard-earned wealth for those who matter most. What should your estate strategy include? Creating an estate strategy might feel overwhelming, but it's simpler than you think. Here are the key components to consider. A will or trust. This is the foundation of any estate plan. A will spells out your wishes, while a trust offers additional benefits like avoiding probate and providing privacy. Power of attorney, designating someone you trust to handle your financial and legal matters if you're unable to do so, is crucial. Remember that power of attorney passes when the issuer passes. So whoever's giving someone else a power of attorney, if they pass on, that power of attorney is no longer valid. Consult an attorney. Healthcare directives. What happens if you're unable to make medical decisions? A healthcare directive ensures your preferences are honored. Beneficiary designations. Make sure your beneficiary designations on life insurance policies, retirement accounts, and other assets are up to date. These often override what's stated in a will. How this ties into strategic debt management? You might be wondering, what does this have to do with buying or financing a home? Everything. Estate planning and strategic debt management go hand in hand. Your home is likely one of your largest assets, and ensuring it's protected is a cornerstone of building wealth. Certified Liability Advisor, CLA. I work with families to not only help them purchase their dream home, but also manage debt strategically. Why? Because smart debt management frees up resources you can invest in creating a comprehensive estate strategy. By building equity, reducing liabilities, and planning for the future, you're setting up your family for financial stability and success. It's never too early to start. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a young family just starting out, or someone planning for retirement, the best time to create an estate strategy is now. Don't wait for life to throw unexpected challenges your way. Take control today. Your next step, you've been putting off estate planning. Now is the time to act. At Ron Siegel Radio, we're here to guide you through every step of your financial journey. Let's connect and create a plan that protects your loved ones, builds your wealth, and leaves a lasting legacy. And yes, of course, we have attorneys and paralegals who can help you create that estate plan, that trust, that will. They understand these things, and we understand them as well. So we show you how to do it. Pretty simple. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. And I'm going to share with you, go look at that Home Select loan. And if you wonder why I promote it so much, because I want you to save thousands of dollars in interest expense. I will tell you, if you just call and say, hey, Ron, what's the interest rate on a Home Select loan? I'm going to tell you it's higher than anything else we have. But you can't live on an interest rate. You can't spend an interest rate. You can't build wealth on an interest rate. You build wealth on interest expense. And the interest expense on the Home Select loan, if it's right for you and if you qualify, is the best there is in the marketplace. So you got to get it as quickly as you can, as quickly as you qualify for it. And make sure you're doing it before you're ready to retire. Because sometimes there's wrenches that get thrown in if you wait until retirement. rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Quite simply, the best loan on the market. Now, one of the bigger issues that we come across is every once in a while, we find people that don't have a stellar credit report. Well, what do they need to do? They need to look at our credit strategy, because more often than not, if you follow the credit strategy, you're gonna have a higher credit score. Go to rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. In there, I actually go through how you can maximize your FICO score, because there's a high likelihood that you're not getting the best FICO score you could possibly, just because you're not paying your credit card bills the right way. And if you're paying them after you get your statement and paying them in full, that is be getting a better credit score. rsrccpayment.com. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.